Hello everyone, welcome back again to Angela's Craft Room. Today I have card number 3. Challenge that I set myself was to make 6 different cards from the Winterwoods bundle. And this is it here. This is the stamp set. And this is In the Woods framelets. So you get 10% off if you buy them both together. So that's why I call them the Winterwoods bundle. Or you can just buy the Winterwoods stamp set, or you can also just buy the In the Woods framelets, just depending on what you want to try and create. But it is a fantastic bundle, and I wanted to make full benefit of it, so I challenged myself to make 6 cards, all different themed. A couple will be Christmas because it is a Christmas stamp, but I wanted to show you and prove that you can make several other cards all year round with this fantastic bundle. So you can see that how lovely and 3D this Christmas tree is. So we're going to get started on it straight away. So I have a piece of basic black, and it's 11 inches long by 4 1/8 of an inch wide, and then we're going to fold that in half. That's scored at 5 1/2, and we're just going to burnish that. Then I have a piece of Whisper White, which measures 5 1/4 inches by 3 7/8 of an inch, and I just stamped that with the Christmas tree with the Merry Merlot ink pad, and I'm just going to stick that straight in. I always like to put the inside in as well as I'm making the card, because that way the card is finished when you finish the front part. It's always important to have the inside done as well. So that's that part. Then I have a piece of gold foil, which measures 3 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4. And then I have a piece of Whisper White, which measures 5 inches by 3 1/2. And as you can see, I put that through the with the embossing folder, softly falling, and I'm just going to glue that directly onto there. Like that. So just try and centre it the best you can, trying not to get ink on your hands. Like I got a little bit of ink up there, but I'll just grab my adhesive eraser. This is from Stampin' Up! Too. If you've got a bit of dry glue, it just removes it. It's the most fabulous tool. I use it every single day. So then we've got that piece, okay? Then I'm going to take a piece of polka dot white ribbon, and I'm not even going to put any adhesive on the back or anything. Just bring it down to where you want it. And on the worst bow folder, you won't see me folding many bows in my tutorials. So just pull the tails out a bit. just fluff them up. I don't know if that's the right term, but I just like to fiddle with them a little bit too much sometimes. And then I'm just going to get my Stampin' Up scissors that I only keep for ribbon, because if I get glue on them, they're not going to cut my ribbon nice and cleanly. So I'm not worried too much at the moment, but I just want the ribbon to be there. I would have liked just it to be a little bit smaller, which that's a lot better. So I'll just cut a bit more. Like that. So I've got my little bow happening there. Set that aside, and then I have another piece of gold foil which measures 3.5 by 2 3/4 inches, and then I have a piece of vellum which measures 3.25 by 2 inches. Now we all know how hard it is to put an adhesive under the vellum, so the tree's going to go on top of the vellum. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of snail on the back, and I'm not going to put it right to the top because the peak of the tree is going to be up there. I might just put a little bit either side, and then I'm just going to, I nearly did it wrong. Then I'm just going to center that the best I can and just press down on where the adhesive is. You can see the adhesive there. You can quite easily see it on camera there, but as I say, the tree is going to cover that. Then what I'm going to do is, I just have to get my steps, make sure I'm doing the right steps first. So next step is I'm just going to glue that onto there. Okay. Now I'm just putting it underneath that bow. And I just want to center that as best I can. So just press down on that. So you can see how easy it is to be making your layers. And then I have a piece of shimmery white which was 4 inches long and 1 inch in height, and I put that through the embossing folder, softly falling as well, so you can just see that just slightly. So then I'm just going to, from gold to gold, I'm going to put that on there, and I most probably will just cut a little bit of it off. So I'm going to use, I did use snail on the first one, but I'm going to use tear and tape on this one. And you really only need a piece of tear and tape at the bottom of it, because Terran tape is very strong adhesive and you're not going to lift it off once it's down. So I'm just going to put it to the gold piece and to the bottom of the other white embossed piece, like that. And as we've used Terran tape, there's no way that's going to come up. And we just want to cut off this little piece. A pair of scissors, I've got there what I call my gluey scissors. It's just one little piece that I would like to cut off, but I don't know that I'm not going to use my ribbon scissors on it. There, that's quite okay. I'm satisfied with that. So that's where we are at the moment. Then I'm going to grab my sentiment, thinking of you this season, and I'm going to pop that on there, which I think I will do it with some dimensionals. So I'm just going to put 4. So you can see it's quite an easy card to put together. We haven't got to the tree yet, but the tree is not hard. And the tree framelits really go very easily through the big shot. I might actually put this one straight this time just so it's a bit different to my first one. So straighten it. So, and I haven't put any adhesive under that ribbon whatsoever. I just don't think it needs it. So you could add pearls or sequins up here as well if you really wanted to. And now the tree. So actually what I'll do is I'll glue this onto the base first. So I'm not trying to press the tree down at the same time. So just try and center it the best you can, but just remember to put your ribbon on before, tie your ribbon round this mat before you put it onto the card, and then you're gluing the ribbon in place. So just press all that down. Okay, so all we've got left now is to show you how I did the tree. So with my framelits, also with this curvy piece here, I just used this piece from the In the Woods framelits, and then I just cut it to the desired length I wanted it. Okay. Now with the tree you will want to cut, I've one piece with that one, and you'll want to cut one piece with that one. So I've done that. I did it in shimmery white, so I cut that piece and that piece, and that's how it comes out with the little bows or boughs of the tree. And all I do is I just grab them and I just flick them up a little bit. Because of a final technique I do, I'm not too worried about it. You just want to flick them up a little bit. Okay, so then we'll glue those two pieces together. Now I've shown you those. So I just used Tombow, and just where I could put a dot of glue, you don't want to go over the top with it. And I'm not putting it on the pieces that bend upwards, like all those pieces there. I'm just putting it in between on the flat part. But this just gives you that wow factor for your Christmas tree, because it just makes it look so 3D. It's just amazing. So then I'm just going to grab a scrap piece of paper, and I just need to glue this piece to this piece now. And that gives you a lot more to work with. So we're just going to, I just line the top up, the 2 points of them at the top. And just make sure so the 2 points, and then just push down where you've put your glue. And once you've got these two together, you can really, and it's dry, you can really play with these to your heart's desire. But that's how easy it is to make that 3D tree. It's just so easy. Some people I've seen use a stylus, or even your stamping up other tools you might have lying around, paper piercer. You can just hold the paper piercer there and push that up there like that. That's once you've glued it to the bottom piece, because it gives you more to hang on to now. So I'm just pushing these up. So I do have one last thing that we do once this is glued on, so please hang on and follow the video through, and I'll show you how you will get a very stiff, these will become very stiff if you add this final product. Okay, so then I'm going to see where I want it to sit on my, so I just want it to cover, mainly to cover that glue. So that's that adhesive that's underneath the vellum. So I'm just going to I should have had a cotton bud ready, but I didn't. So I just want to smush it out a bit. It's not really a technical term, smushing. So then we just want to pop it on. So about in the middle. So I'm really happy where that's sitting. So I'm just going to press down the sides to start with. Now, in the bottom, bring that up a bit. Now, I'm just going to push that down a little bit. And you'll get them to be where you want them to be, but that's where I want them to be. And you could just add some adhesive pearls if you wanted to, like on each one. But what I do is I use my shimmery white embossing paste, and you won't see it completed in this video because it does take a little bit to dry. But all I do is just pull that off. So you can get your palette knives. You get 3 different ones to use with your embossing paste, and I would highly recommend that you do use your palette knives and not just try and use it with a normal knife. You won't get the same effect. So then I'm just going to fluff it on. And I always like to put a fair bit on because you can always take it off before it dries. So I'm just using the point of this. And when this dries, these little fellows, the ones that we've turned up, they become very stiff. But another thing I did was, while it was still wet, I added my pearls. As I showed you in the original card, I had pearls as well on mine. That one I need to come up a bit. So while it was wet, because it does take maybe 3 or 4 minutes to dry, to touch dry. So while it's still wet, I put all the embossing paste on first, and then I went ahead and put my pearls. And then when it's dry, if you've got any crusty bits on the edges, like the embossing paste, if you just run your finger along, because it will be very stiff and hard like cement. So once it's dry, you just rub your fingers along the sides. Just got a little bit. It will just literally come off. It's like cement. It will literally, the edge bits will come off. So I really love using the embossing paste with it, and I use the shimmery white for the Christmas trees. And then I would go ahead and put pearls on each one. And then if you wanted to remove a little bit of the embossing paste, but I'm quite happy with that one. With the first one I did, I was a lot more liberal with the embossing paste. But then when it dries, I think you can see that is like cement, and that's what I mean. You just run your fingers along the edges of these pieces, and if there's a little bit that's off the edge, it will just literally come off. But they are very stiff, just stiff like cement, and that's what I mean by adding the pearls before it dries. So that's my card number 3 for you in this series of 6. So I've still got 3 to go. So I hope you enjoyed that card using the Winterwoods bundle. And until next time, happy crafting!